Watching the Sex for Grades documentary, one thing that is clear to us is that protocols guiding student-lecturers relationships have been broken. How can we mend this? On this episode of News Connect on Citi TV, I speak to some lecturers at some public universities. My name is Kojo Agyeman. Stay tuned.
I will lay the blame squarely on the lecturers. I mean, it's a matter of you have the authority. I mean, yes, somebody will say, but they lured me into it. I believe when you are in certain positions, you need to be able to resist some of these temptations. Yes, I understand. People will say, but they came to you with this and that and that. But the point is that if you are basing your decision on certain principles, then I believe what is not right is not right. Whether it's offered to you for free or at a price, it is not right.
So I know you've been teaching for a number of years now, and then at what point do we consider certain favors from male teachers or even female teachers to their students to help them with their academic work? At what point do we say that this is getting too much in terms of deliberations?
Well, thank you. I think if it gets to a point where you have to alter the student's grade or even try to assist when you are marking the script, then we can say that you are being compromised.
Some have suggested that we should also have systems in place that it will reduce the teacher or lecturer to people contact, so that you can use emails, you can use computer-based test systems, so that you wouldn't come into contact with your students more often.
I'm not too sure if that is very practicable in this part of the world, and because you need infrastructure to have that less contact. We have distance programs that we run. Even then, students still find their way into your offices. At times, they want to see you personally and then have a chat. But I think that these cases that normally happen, especially for my University of Ghana, I think that is the exception rather than the rule. I mean, given that we produce over 40,000 students and so on and so forth, these are just pockets of incidences that have happened. And with every human institution, these things happen. I think that the way forward in terms of getting around these things is to drum home to all lecturers their code of ethics. At what level do you relate with students, and then what level, if you relate, you go beyond the boundaries of your ethics and so on and so forth. Once we begin to do that, and the students should clearly know that if you seek unfair advantage, and you are reported, you could lose your degree, so that there are sanctions that are clearly stated and students are aware of it. If we do that, I think it will help out. But trying to minimize the contact is not possible in this part of the world. Internet services, even to do research, is not very, very good. And, streaming lectures live on media and so on and so forth comes to a lot of very hard and soft infrastructure, and we don't have them. So, we'll still go on and have this personal contact with our students. I partly schooled abroad, and the relation between student and lecturers is quite clear. The line is drawn. When you go to a lecturer's office, he opens the door, he doesn't close the door. He doesn't want to have any case where maybe an accusation can rise. But here, because of the culture in which we are brought up and stuff, we tend to be much more friendly. We break down protocols and we accept it without questioning, and then it moves on from one thing to the other, right? So within that social framework that we all relate, we need to clearly know that, look, beyond this, I'm going beyond my borders, and then so on and so forth. But hey, these are exceptions rather than the rule.
You urged students who are in that situation to report. Yes, but then you know that the student, for fear of being victimized, will not confide in any teacher or will not report.
Well, that's why we have the council. Advisory councils. If you don't want to be victimized, you don't go to the staff, neither do you go to the HODs, but then you can go to the counselor to report that. Okay? That way you are not victimized. They don't know who came or who said what.
Dr. Chimes, you were talking about going back to the basics, the principles, especially with female students and then male lecturers. I was drawing to you a scenario where one Saturday afternoon, young, beautiful-looking lady will walk up to you in your home and say, "Oh, sir, I didn't do well." I mean, trying to seduce you. At what point should you draw the line as a male lecturer? I'm asking you this because you were talking about going back to the basics. Yeah.
Okay, I am saying that, okay, so at what point? I'm a female. I don't think I know exactly what they go through. I see it around. But I think that you should have some lines that should not be crossed as a lecturer. How did they get to know your house in the first place? I mean, my colleague was talking about your numbers. You need to warn them. Phone numbers, I don't see the point why you should be relating to your student through the mobile phone. Why can't they send you emails? Right. They send you email, you respond. If they have any query, they should come to your office during your office hours. I mean, within the working hours. I don't expect you to see students visiting their lecturers after 5:30 p.m., 6 p.m. What are they doing, really? I mean, I think that these lines have been crossed. It's not the first time we've heard this. It's always been there. I mean, in terms of relationship between male and female, the male having more power, for which reason they take advantage of it. It didn't happen today. It won't stop. But the point is that it's gotten to a point where we need to say enough is enough. It's not right for you to use your position to coerce somebody to do something. And the point is, you are saying it's offered for free. I don't believe it. I mean, there's no free lunch. So whatever, if you're a male and something comes up, I mean, you need to be careful about these things. Sometimes, for example, like the rumor we are hearing, I mean, you take a long time to build a reputation and you let something like this ruin it. I don't think it's worth it in terms of the impact on the individual, the family and everything. So basically, I think that the men need to be careful, the women as well. I'm not sure. I think that this scenario is quite peculiar to the men. So they make it seem, but I don't think it should be a big deal. If you are behaving, I mean, you are their lecturer, yes, X and Y, these are my expectations. You go to class, you let them know. The ones who want to take advantage of you would know that, no, this person has laid down the ground rules. This is somebody I cannot get away with. And I believe that with that, it should be fine. And because I believe consistently when such rumors fester, then it means that it brings the hard work of young women into disrepute. You know, people break their backs to get first classes. And then when stuff like this happen, it appears, right, I mean, you are nice, you are this, so you sold yourself for your first class. It's not right. I believe that the system needs to be sanitized to make sure that even if these things are happening, it's on a very minimal. It shouldn't happen in the first place, but it's a human institution, and I believe that it doesn't augur well for the image of the university and everybody as well.
That's all for this episode of News Connect on Citi TV. My name is Kojo Agyeman. Keep watching Citi TV.